Hi everyone, so in this video what I want to talk about is 6 common signs that you may be depressed. And if you're watching this video for the first time, my name is Marianne Hanson. I'm a counsellor and a coach. I work with individuals who struggle with depression, individuals who struggle with low self-esteem, with stress, and I also work with couples and individuals in terms of relationship issues. So depression is something that is becoming more common amongst people. There are certain people who have got a diagnosis of depression, but there are also many people that are walking around undiagnosed and they're concerned or they feel that they may be depressed, but they're not sure. So what I want to talk about is 6 common signs, and what you need to bear in mind is that you don't look at these signs individually. You need to combine and think, if you're suffering with 4 or 5 of these signs that I'm going to talk about, then you may want to visit your GP to check out whether you could be depressed. The first one is isolation from others. So everyone's going to say, at the moment, because of the situation we're in, we're spending less time with people. That's because of some restrictions that are in place. Also, some people like to spend time by themselves. I mean, I grew up with a really big family, lots of friends. I've sort of spent majority of my life around people all the time, whether that's sharing rooms with sisters or whatever. So I like being on my own, I live on my own, but I also enjoy going out and meeting people. So what you have to think about is, if you're isolating yourself from your family and friends intentionally, if you feel anxiety or stress just for the fact you have to walk to the shops or you have to interact with people generally, then you may be struggling with depression, because people with depression often think whoever they speak to is judging them, or they feel that they don't want to speak to anyone because they just don't feel confident enough within themselves. So the second thing is, if you are unable to control your moods or your emotions, so this could either indicate, if you have a situation where you have long periods of time where you're feeling sad, so you may just wake up and just the whole day you're just sad and you can't attribute a reason for it. So there's no event or incident that's happened. You just feel that you're in a low mood. Or it could be that you are consistently going up and down with your moods. So one minute you're happy, you're fine, the next minute you're crying, especially if it's out of context. So if you're just doing the shopping, or you may just be doing the washing up, or you may just be talking to a neighbour or talking to a friend, and all of a sudden you have a feeling of overwhelming sadness, or you start to cry, or you just feel panicky or stressed, then that could indicate that you're depressed, because it means you have lost control of your emotions. And I've spoke about this in other videos, but I did have a sister who struggled with depression, and one thing I was not as in tune with, if you like, was that she was constantly putting on an act of being fine, happy, laughing, so I didn't pick up on the indicators that it was literally a bit of an act. And what can happen sometimes is, that is another reason people isolate themselves from family and friends, because they know their family usually will pick up on things, and also they feel they have to put more energy into pretending. And people with depression will get tired and they'll feel like, I just don't want to talk to anyone. I just don't want to have to put on an act and smile. I don't want to laugh. I don't want to joke. I just want to lie in bed all day. I just want to be left alone. I just want to sit here with my negative thoughts. I just want to feel sad. And that is what depression does as an illness. It kind of convinces you that that is the best thing for you. So another indication is that you're either overeating or a complete loss of appetite. So usually when we think of food, we have our favourite meals that we enjoy. We have the ritual of preparing food. When food is cooking, you get all the smells and you start to feel, excited about what you're going to eat. A key indicator if you are stressed or depressed is that you will either overeat, and you will usually just eat anything. It won't be what you enjoy anymore. It will just be, right, I've got to eat this, because you're trying to change your emotion. Or you will lose your appetite. So you either eat less, or when you are eating, you're not enjoying the food. So that is something I check out with my clients. If someone is concerned that they might be feeling depressed, we look at their eating habits, their eating patterns. It's not just about, are you eating regular meals? If people start to lose taste, or they just start to feel they don't enjoy food anymore, then that could be a good sign, because depression kind of robs you of all of those things. Overeating, obviously, it's because it's an emotional thing where you're saying, I feel depressed, I feel sad, this cake will cheer me up, or I'll grab this packet of crisps, or I'll eat these biscuits. But you're always usually choosing foods that you either don't enjoy or foods that are not good for you. So the fourth one is sleeping issues, lack of motivation and fatigue. So having a lack of energy is sometimes what happens. You might have had a busy day. You might just be lacking in energy because of the time of year, the season. You might be experiencing, the time of month or whatever it is. There's lots of reasons people can feel tired. But if you have a general fatigue where you are just demotivated, where you just have no energy at all, so it doesn't matter which scenario you're put into. You could be around your family and friends. You could be sitting at home. You could be, really active or doing nothing at all, but you still have a sense of lethargy, just feeling fatigued, feeling emotionally drained, feeling tired. Then you need to consider whether it could be due to depression. And sleep issues is another indicator of either stress or depression. I love my sleep. Even though I go to bed late, I don't wake up during the night. I might not have a completely smooth sleep, but, when it's time for me to go to bed, I go to bed. So if you are someone that is either staying up really, really late, and I'm talking like 2 in the morning or whatever, or when you do go to sleep, every hour you're getting up, or you just have disturbed sleep, or you can't get, to sleep at all, it could be to do with stress or depression. And that's another indicator that doctors and also counsellors will look at sleep patterns, especially if previous to that you've had good night's sleep. The fifth one is that you have no interest in activities you used to enjoy. So if there was something you always used to enjoy doing, whether it was a physical activity, you used to enjoy going swimming or whatever, or if it was an activity you used to do, you might have ran some sort of club, knit club or something, or on a Wednesday you would always go to play netball with your friends, or you used to enjoy going and having, a cup of tea and a cake with your nan, or whatever it is. If that activity ends up being something that you dislike, and for whatever reason all of a sudden you hate it, it could be to do with depression, because with depression, the things you used to enjoy the most seem like they're a chore. It's the same as the first indicator, which is talking to people. All of these little daily tasks that you used to enjoy, you no longer can feel good about doing. Another indicator which comes under that is if your sexual desire goes down. So if you're in a relationship and your libido just, you really used to be someone that was quite intimate with your partner, you would, have a high sex drive, and then all of a sudden it just drops all the way down, then that is another indicator for depression as well. As I've said, you've got to look at all of these in combination, not individually. And the final one, which is definitely an indicator, is that you have constant negative thoughts or suicidal thoughts. Now, occasionally people might have the odd negative thought, and think badly about themselves or think negatively about the world or anything else. If all of your thoughts or the majority of your thoughts are negative, where you are either thinking negative thoughts about yourself, you're thinking negative thoughts about the world, you feel like everything is dangerous, you have a lot of fear, and also if you're having constant suicidal thoughts, then it could definitely indicate that you could be depressed. So it doesn't mean that if occasionally, once in a while, you've said, I don't want to be here anymore, and that was 2 years ago, and you've never thought it since because it was triggered by an incident or because, it just came into your head. However, if you were constantly thinking, I'd be better off not being here, you've actually started considering different ways of how you would end your life, you are constantly having negative thoughts that say you are worthless, or saying that, you know, life isn't worth living and that sort of thing, then you should definitely go to see your GP. What I would say to anyone is don't just dismiss those feelings and thoughts as being no big deal, because they're definitely an indicator of depression, but also it's definitely worth going and speaking to someone about that. So I hope you found this useful. There's lots more signs and symptoms that could indicate you have depression, but these are some of the common ones. And what I want to just reiterate again to anyone is, if you are experiencing any of these issues, please feel free to go and see your doctor, reach out to a counsellor, reach out to a friend, a family member, just speak to someone. You don't have to feel that you're alone. So I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to share it with someone. Feel free to like, leave any comments, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.